Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this webinar today. I would like to present you on this webinar our new Aficollar. As you know, we launched our new Aficollar, a new sensor that is attached to the cow's collar called Aficollar, which we launched in the middle of March. And in additional, I would like to share with you some of our new features that have been added on to the new AfiFarm 5.4 software that has also been launched together with the Aficollar. So let's start off with the Aficollar. Let's start explaining about the Aficollar. First of all, just to show you and share with you this new collar. This is our Aficollar. This is what it looks like. You can see here on the right. It comes with a belt with a strap that is strapped around the neck. And here we have the accelerometer where all the information is collected. We have the weight on the bottom part that pulls down the collar so it stays positioned. And on the back of this, we have the buckle where you connect and attach the collar onto the cow's neck. So in the beginning, I would like to share with you and show you a few of the features. Some of them are new, some of them are features that you probably know, and help you to understand and to promote Aficollar, giving you some benefits and value on how and what features we have with our new Aficollar. So of course, to start off with, we have with the Aficollar, there is a top heat detection. The Aficollar is capable of detecting cows in heat. I would just like to say you that during the past year and a half, 2 years, we have been comparing between the Aficollar and the Afiact 2 on heat detection, comparing it with cows that have Afiact 2. And to be quite honest, we are very, very satisfied and happy with the results. And only after that, we also have gone out to better farms to show and see these features working on better farms. And again, I can say with a lot of success. So when we say top heat detection, this is really top heat detection, very similar as the Afiact 2. And again, of course, this is on the neck, this is on the leg, the pedometer, but we get both of them. We get very high and accurate results of heat detection. Of course, when we're talking about a neck collar and two parameters that we will be using and helping us to detect cows with health issues or changes in health issues, we're using rumination and eating. Okay, rumination by itself, eating, a combination of them. These are the two parameters that we will be that we use with the Aficollar to help us detect cows that need to be checked and treated. So using these two parameters of rumination, eating, or the combination of both of them together, rumination and eating, we have developed a health application, different health applications, which I will share with you and show you as we go on. And of course, all the information that's coming from the collar of cows that were detected in heat or cows that are have a health situation based on rumination and eating, of course, all of this information goes into our ABC dashboard. And again, it's exactly the same dashboard as you know. We haven't really changed anything except maybe one report, which I will show you later on. But it's important that to know that all information that is coming from the collar is downloaded into our ABC dashboard and of course onto the Afi2Go Pro mobile app, exactly the same app, the same features as we have with the Afiact 2 pedometer. These are the same features that you will have on the mobile app. So the farmer will be able to see all the information, not only on the computer through the ABC dashboard, but also on his mobile app. And as you know, he can use the mobile app to enter events, insemination, treatments, everything that we know and all the features that we have with the Afi2Go Pro are also with our Aficollar. Of course, as we go on through the this year, we'll be also releasing more quality, high quality animal ID in the parlor. For now, the option is IDing cows based on passive ID. And as we go on through this year, we will be releasing more and more identification in the parlor. The battery is a long battery life, an extended battery life, and I will talk about it on our next slide. And the radio range, the extended radio range is exactly the same as the Afiac 2, and I will get in a bit more details on our next slide. So altogether here we can see the features and benefits and value that the farmer can get out of this new Aficollar. All right, so like we said, heat detection, detecting sick cows, everything going into the ABC dashboard and the mobile app, giving the farmer a coverage of all the cows need and detecting all these cows that he has on the farm. So if we get into a bit more technical side of the Aficollar, like with the Afiact 2, that you need to have a reader. All right, you have to have, it's mandatory that when a farmer or when you want to purchase Aficollar, you have to purchase it with a reader. This reader is exactly the same reader as you have with the Afiact 2. It's the same reader, it's the same way of installing. And so it makes easier that when you come and install the Afiact 2 reader or the Aficollar reader, it's exactly the same. The communication range is up to 800 meters, like I said before, and the battery life on the collar will be at least up to 7 years, and even we expect it to be longer than 7 years. Of course, with the Aficollar, we are also giving an option for an extension of the warranty. So the general warranty is for 3 years, but if the farmer would like to have an extended warranty for 4, 5, up to 6 years warranty, there is an option to extend the warranty for the Aficollar. The storage inside the collar itself, in this area, the storage inside is for more than 24 hours. So if the reader has dropped out or there is a power problem on the farm and the reader has no more, is not in contact with the collar, the storage inside the collar is more than 24 hours. So after 24 hours, of course, information will start being replaced. But if we straight away, if the electricity come back or there is connection between the reader and the collar, all the information is downloaded from the collar into the computer. Also with the Aficollar, we have added on a option of tag ID called NFC on every mobile, any smartphone, I would say. There is an option called NFC. Here, when by using the NFC tag ID, by using this option, you are be able to ID the collar. All right, so when you, for example, you open up the mobile app, the Afi2Go Pro, and you scan the collar using the NFC option, it will automatically register the cow and attach the number of the collar to the cow that you want to attach the collar on. So it's very simple. You don't need to write down the tag number. You just scan it with the NFC and attach it to the cow. And of course, like we said in the beginning, all the information coming from the collar via the reader goes into the AfiFarm 5.4 software. And like I said to you in the beforehand, also into the, also into the mobile app. All of this information is presented into the AfiFarm 5.4 standalone software. this is the software that comes together with the AfiFarm 5.4 Aficollar, a standalone version. So if a farmer wants to buy Aficollar as a standalone, this is the version that he will receive. And here he will receive all reports that are related to the information coming from the collar. All right. So the information coming from the caller, if it's infertility or health or tasks that need to be due today, very similar, exactly the same as you have with the dashboard, with the ABC dashboard, with the full version. This is exactly the same report. So all reports that are related to information. Okay, and this is important. Information that is coming from the caller and reports that are related to this information, all of these reports will be on this dashboard. So this is AfiFarm 5.4 standalone. The same type of refreshness, okay? Fresh information, refreshed every hour. Again, opening up this report, you will get it refreshed and with the most updated information coming from the caller. So here you will have all the reports. And here in the middle, it will always be open, the animals for insemination report. So the farmer can always see the report on animals for insemination, and and straight away always will see information in front of him if he has cows for insemination. Of course, you can also go into the animals for insemination report from the dashboard by pressing this report, clicking on this report, and it opens up the animals for insemination report. This report, like I said, is exactly the same report as we have in Afiact 2 pedometer. So you've got all the same information, the cow, her status, her gynecologist status, the number of lactation, insemination, days in milk, all different information that is related to the cow. And here we have the fertility window. This is the fertility window, and this fertility window is based on the cow's individual detection, I would say. So for example, when a cow is detected in heat and she comes onto this report, this is when the fertility window starts assigning a window and giving the farmer a best time, giving the farmer information on the best time or the most high accurate time, I would say, the best time to inseminate the cow. Each cow has its own fertility window based on when it was detected. So you get the fertility window, and the fertility window is divided up. The information on the fertility window is divided up into three categories. So if we look down here, okay, this is when the cow was detected, and here we have a bullseye. And this area is divided up into three areas. One is an area which we call low consumption rate, which means if we inseminate the cow when she's in this area, we will get lower possibility of the cow becoming pregnant. If we, the second level is called moderate consumption rate, that if we inseminate the cow based on her moderate consumption rate, then you'll get a better chance of her becoming pregnant. And the best fertility window or the best time to inseminate the cow is what we call high consumption rate. So to show you how it works and to explain how it works, so here we have an example of a cow, and as the hours move along, the cow moves along in the hours, this puts her position on this fertility window section. So when a cow is just detected in heat and she is in the into the white area here, or she passed and it's been quite a long time since she was detected, she is in this area here. This area, these two areas, is what we call low consumption rate, meaning that if we inseminate the cow too early, or too late, then this cow has a lower possibility of conception, of becoming pregnant. The second level is moderate consumption rate. So again, as the cow moves along, if she enters the light purple area here, okay, this is the light purple area. If she is in this light purple area, her icon is positioned in this area, this means moderate, meaning that if you inseminate the cow at this time or at this period, it's a moderate or a medium, I would say, a possibility of the cow to become pregnant. And the ultimate time or the best time that we recommend you to inseminate the cow is what we call high consumption rate. Here it is once the cow is in this window of her fertility window here in the middle, which means this is a window of 8 hours. Any time in this window will be the best time to inseminate the cow, saying it's a high consumption rate. So if we want to see when is the best time to inseminate the cow, we look onto the fertility window on top, and here we will see the time. This time here will be the best time, okay, best time to inseminate the cow. What will change is what we call the consumption based on the cow's position. And here we can see this cow here is positioned in the high consumption rate fertility window. So it's written here, high consumption rate. Okay, and for each animal on the farm, again, this is also a report for cows and also for heifers. So each animal on the farm that has a collar and was detected in heat, you will receive and you will see an individual fertility window. And so you will be able to inseminate the cow or the heifer at the best time or the best time you can. So this is very, very important to farmers to know when is the best time to inseminate the cow. And here we will always show them, and this is always updated. It's updated every hour, and it's updated again when you, open up this report. So the farmer will get the information when is the best time to inseminate the cow. The same information he will also have on his mobile app. So he doesn't need to go into the report. He can be on the farm and he can check and see also via the mobile app. And just to show you a cow in heat using the neck collar, what it looks like when we go into her graph. Here we have a cow in heat. This is what it looks like. The pink line is the heat indicator. This is the heat indicator, very similar heat indicator like we have with the Afiact 2. And here we have two new additional lines on this graph. The green is eating and the purple is rumination. And you can see here that when a cow is in heat, what happens to her? Of course, her activity goes up. All right, and this is where we can see here. But what you can see is that when a cow is in heat, there will be a drop in rumination. You see, rumination time, the purple is the rumination. There'll be a drop or a decrease in rumination because the cow isn't eating. So we will see a decrease in her rumination. But what we also see that the eating time goes up. And of course, you'll ask yourselves, how can it be if the rumination is going down, the eating time is going up? I would say that when we monitor the cow, and remember we have the neck collar around the cow's neck, so when she is in heat, she is moving, she has much more movement around the jaw, around her neck, she is jumping on other cows, she has more movement, she is moving her neck much more. So because of the movement of the neck and the additional movement on the neck, it seems as if her eating time goes up, but this is more related to neck movement, to jaw movement. So you will see with many cows, again, I'll say it's not with all of them, but with a high percentage of cows, what we see now, at least 80% of the cows, you will see this same scenario, that the rumination going down and the eating going up. So of course, when we see a cow like that, and we see her also in heat and rumination and eating going down, this will show us for sure that this cow is in heat. And these are the graphs you will see on a cow that's in heat. All right. So that was very general speaking about the new animals for insemination report. This is the graph, and very similar as the AFIAC 2. And here you will see the behavior, I would say, of the cow. Again, heat indicator going up, rumination going down, and eating, jaw movement, neck movement going up. The next report I want to share with you is, okay, we spoke about heat detection. Now, a new health report. Here we have a report that is detecting cows that are sick or cows that have heat issues, health issues that were detected by the caller. And we call this report the non-specific health report. And again, I'm sure you all know, but next to each report, opposite each report, you have the number of animals behind this report. So when we click on this report, the non-specific health report, it opens up into the sick animal report. This report is bringing us cows that we have detected a decrease, a change in their rumination and eating. So the details on this report are, you'll see the cow number or the animal number, her group, her days in milk, her status, and we'll talk about the status, okay, why we have it written down. I'll just say that we're not only detecting cows, we are able to also detect sick dry cows or heifers. So if it's a dry cow or a heifer coming to this report, the status will be dry or heifer. And the two important parameters, we have a parameter for rumination and a detection or a parameter on eating. So if we see there is a decrease in eating or in rumination or in both of them, and I will explain and show these parameters in a minute, then she comes onto this report. All right, so once we see the decrease, we bring her to this report, she comes onto this report, and the farmer will go and check these cows and see why they have a decrease in rumination, eating, or both of them. And the last column or the last title we have is a code. So if you have a sort gate on the farm and you assign a sort code, or you want to use any kind of code, every code that is attached to the cow, it will be presented on this report. So if we want to see the parameters, or what are the parameters that bring cows onto this report, we'll go into the design. On top of the report, we have a design tab where we will click on, and this will open us a report, the report parameters. These are the parameters that will bring the cow onto the report. Okay, now this report here, excuse me, is divided up into 4 sections. One is general information, okay, general parameters for detecting or bringing cows onto this report, and 3 parameters that are based on rumination and eating. Okay, so I will start off with the first parameter from rumination and eating. This is the parameter that will bring cows on this report based on combined rumination and eating. Okay, if we see a decrease in both parameters, rumination and eating, then cows or animals will appear on the report. Each section is divided up into 3 columns. One column is for milk, M is milk, D for dry, and H for heifer. And for each status, for each animal status, you can, I would say, you can adjust the sensitivity based on each status. Okay, and this goes on all the parameters that we have on for detecting all the parameters deviations that we have for detecting cows in heat. Cows that are sick. We can adjust them from milk, dry, and heifers. So the first parameter, like I said in the beginning, that is we use for detecting cows in heat is a combination of rumination and eating. So for example, with a milk cow, if the rumination has decreased 30% and the eating deviation has decreased 20%, okay, and it's not less than 12 hours between deviations, then this cow will come onto the report. Meaning that if we see a deviation of 30% in rumination and in eating, this cow will automatically come onto the report. The next parameter, and it's the same idea, but here it's only rumination. All right. So if a cow had a decrease in her deviation, or she had a decrease in her rumination, and there was a deviation, for example, in rumination of 45%, and it's been going on for at least 3 hours, bring this cow to our health report. And again, like I said to you beforehand, you can adjust these parameters. The farmer can change the sensitivity if he wants to see more cows or less cows, but all of these parameters are adjustable, or you can change the sensitivity. Again, I would recommend, of course, to before changing the sensitivity or adjusting it, I would recommend that you contact the application support or your dealer's application support, or our Afi milk guys and the A team in the Afi application support. You've got Maria, you've got myself, you've got Amir, or any of your application team, Alexis, but whoever is application of Afi Milk, we're glad to help you and show you. And I would say to have a discussion around the adjustment of these parameters, because it could be that, it's important to have accurate detection. So again, in the beginning, especially, I would recommend to do it together with the application support team, because I would say we have a bit more experience and we can help you and assist you in these parameters. The last parameter is only eating, meaning that if there was only a decrease in eating, there wasn't a decrease in rumination, or there was only a decrease in eating, that we saw that the eating is going down based on deviation. So if there is a drop in eating more than 45%, bring the cow to this report. Okay, the same with dry and the same with heifer. I will just add and say that on every time or any time you feel that you have changed it, but you want to see what the defaults are, you always have a default button, and it will return you to the default numbers that are in AfiFarm. Okay, so here we have the parameters that bring the cows and the animals, the milk cows, dry cows, and heifers. These are the parameters that bring the cows to this report. Just to show you a graph, okay, one or two graphs of cows that were detected sick cows. So in this example, you can see, like we said beforehand, remember the pink is the heat indicator, and what we can see here, the purple rumination time and the green eating time, we can see a drop, okay, a decrease in rumination and eating. And when this was detected, this cow appeared on the non-specific health report, on the sick animal report. Another example, all right, here we had a decrease in rumination in the beginning, and then there was a drop in eating, and the rumination even went down much more than the eating, but still this farmer was alerted with these cows, and he went and checked them. So you can see when there is a decrease in rumination and even there is starting a decrease in eating, these cows will be alerted, and automatically they will enter into the report. So this was just a general explanation on the sick animal report or the non-specific health report. So like I said, the cows come into this report automatically, farmer will go and check, and we went through the parameters where you can see and adjust these parameters. In addition to a individual sick animal report, we have also entered a group digestion report. All right, now this report is a report not for the individual cow, but based on changes or deviations on the group level. So if you've got a farmer and they have groups on the farm, okay, and they have collars adjusted to the animals, we're not only going to identify individual cows, we will also identify changes on a group level. And this is very important and very strong for us to explain to the farmers, because if there is a problem in the group level, for example, there's a change in their nutrition, or there was a change in the, if it's a pasture-based farm and they moved them from one pasture to another pasture, and there's a change in the cow, in the group behavior, the farmer wants to know this straight away. And using the group digestion report, we will alert the farmer if there was any deviation or changes in the on the group level based on the information coming from the neck collar. So here is an example, excuse me, just to show and what it looks like on the group report. So on top here, we have the group number, okay, the number of animals on the group, and the rumination deviation and eating deviation. So if there is a change in rumination and or a drop in rumination, a decrease in rumination or a decrease in eating, this will come straight away to the report. And on the bottom, we have a graph where the green is the eating and the purple is the rumination, same colors as we have on the individual cow. So when there is a decrease in eating or in rumination or in both of them, on a group level, the farmer will receive a alert on this report, telling him to go and check the group, because it could be that there's something wrong with the ration, with the TMR, with the pasture, with some kind of digestion problem on a group level. So when we're talking about the neck collar, we talked about the individual cow, if it's heat detection and health detection. And here we also have a report on a group level, okay, called group digestion report. And you will be able to see changes and deviation on a group level. So just to share with you and show you a few pictures from farms we have, better farms that we have with the collar. On this side here, these are cows in Italy with the collar. And here, this is a farm in Ireland that has neck collars. They've been already quite a long time with the collars on. And just to share with you the pictures and what they look like. So that was the first part of my presentation. This is the part that we spoke about that deals with the Aficollar and explains the Aficollar. And like I said, of course, there will be more information you'll be able to find in our website, but I hope this will help you to understand the feature, benefits, and value of the Aficollar. Now, like I said in the beginning, the second part of my presentation are new contents or new features that were added on into AfiFarm 5.4. We keep on receiving from you more features or more benefits that you want us to enter into AfiFarm 5.4, or changes that are coming from the field, coming from the farmers that they want to see, or from you as our dealers. And we are always updating, and we're always, if we can, add it on to a version. We will be happy to enter it into a new version that we have. So I just want to share with you around about 3 to 4 new features that were added on into AfiFarm 5.4. The first one is what we call group session. All right. Here we are going to allow users, all right, you can assign different milk sessions per group. This was something that was in the older version, in version 3 and 4. We had the option, okay, to enter a different session for a group. But now in version 5.4, we have entered it back where you can assign a session for a group between 1 to 5 milk sessions that you can assign to a group. And for example, if you have a farm, okay, and it milks 3 times a day, and there's one group that he wants to milk only twice a day, could be because they're low yielders, because they're dry cows, or because they are cows that they don't have a lot of milk production. Then what he can do now in version 5.4, we can assign a track, a session for that group. So all the farm will be with 3 sessions, and this group will only be with 2 sessions. How do we do it? And this is very simple. In the definitions in AfiFarm, okay, here in the definition in AfiFarm, you have a new title called group sessions. Automatically, excuse me, automatically when we configure the farm, okay, you configure the farm and you enter the number of sessions, you can see here that that this farm here has 3 sessions, okay? Session 3 o'clock in the morning, 12 and 7 o'clock, and 3 groups that are milked on this session. Now, the farmer wants to change this. He wants group number 1 to be milked twice a day. Okay, so he goes into add, you add a track, and the track is that the cows will come at 3 o'clock in the morning and at 7 o'clock in the evening. They are not coming in the noon time. Excuse me, so you have 2 sessions, and group number 1 is the group that is going to have 2 sessions. Once you've done that and you press OK, this means that when the cow comes into when her card comes up in AfiFarm, she will only have 2 deviations, or she will only have 2 parts of information, where all the rest of the cows will have 3 sessions. So any cow automatically, if she's in a group number 2 or 3 and she goes into group 1, or she's in group 1 and she goes out of group back to group 2 or 3, she'll be allocated automatically her group sessions based on what you defined in the group sessions section. The second feature, what we added on, as you know, with the Afiac 2 pedometer, we have what we call the group's comfort report. This is report that is based on changes, I would say, on a group level in rest time, and in activity. What we added on also, we added on in 5.4 milk information or milk data that is related to a group. So here we'll be able to see also, and we'll be able to show the farmers, okay, that if there is a change in rest on a group level, if there's a change or decrease in rest or in activity or in rest time, this could also affect the group milk yield. So we added on in 5.4, we added on also the information on the group milk. The average yield deviation was added on to the report, and on the graph we just entered the total yield, or the total amount of milk, the total yield of that group. Just to see what it looks like on this on the group report, on the group comfort report. Okay, here in this report we added the average yield deviation. So if there is a change in rest and there was a alert coming in saying that there is a drop or decrease in rest, time, the farmer will also see that there was not only it affected the rest time, but also the yield deviation of the group went down because of this because of the decrease in the rest on a group level. And on the graph, we added the blue line, the total yield. So you'll be able to see this information, okay, also on the graph. But more importantly is the average yield deviation. So if on a group level, and it can be groups like in this farm, you've got 60 cows in each group. So if there's a decrease, 3%, 2%, 5% on a group level, that is a lot of milk, and it can be only because there was a decrease in rest time. So again, in 5.4, we added also the average, the information on the yield on milk, so we'll be able to see the correlation between rest time and milk. In AfiFarm 5.4, and again, I will say this because it's important that because of your requests, okay, dealers or areas that use group feed or use our feeding or use the AfiFarm feed model are keeping on sending requests and changes. One of the big requests that were entered between version 5.3 and version 5.4 was an option to add also a group feeding. I'm sure most of you remember and know that in AfiFarm version 5.3, in general, there are two options for feeding cows, or two methods for feeding cows. One was the program, the main program, and one was a manual feeding or an individual feeding for an individual cow. There came in a requirement also from South Africa and that area, and also from Europe, from the UK, from Ireland, from Europe, Italy, Holland, different countries in Europe, where you also ask for the option that not only to do it as a program or for the individual cow, also to allow for farmers to allocate feed based on a group level. Okay, so we have added this on into version 5.4. So here now farmers can not only do a program for all the cows based on the lactation, they can also allocate a group feeding, okay, for different groups. So this will give another option, okay? This will give another option for the farm manager or for the farm owner to allocate feed to the cows on the farm. And how is it done? And this is an example of a farm in Ireland that is using group feeding. Okay, so here when you open up the herd view, you get the list of groups on this farm. So this farm has 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 5 groups of cows. And group number 5 is group that he wants to allocate a feed. So you stand on group number 5, and when you click onto the right mouse, it opens up the groups menu in AfiFarm, and here you will see manual feed. Manual feed on a group level, this means that this will be group feeding. Any manual, okay, and this is just an example, any menu, that you allocate and apply onto this group will have an effect on all animals in that group. So in this farm, what he did is that all cows in group number 5, I want them to receive a daily average yield range menu, a different menu that we have in the program. So group number 1, 2, 3, and 6 will have a program menu, and only group number 5, all right, only group number 5 will have a group menu. And automatically, when a cow enters into that group, all right, when you enter a cow into the group, you've done a group change and you've taken a cow from one group and entered her into group number 5, she will be allocated straight away the group feed menu that was allocated to that group. All right, so this is another feature that was added on based on your requirements or your request, I would say, coming from you, from you as the dealers, this was added on into 5.4 version. The last factor, or the last, the last feature that I want to talk about that was added on in 5.4 is based on the suspected ketosis report with the AfiLab. Okay, so if a farmer has AfiLab and on the suspected ketosis report, again, this is a request that came from you as our dealers, as our partners, is that a farmer should be able to choose if he wants to see on this report cows with risk factors and cows that are suspected to ketosis based on detection with the AfiLab or based on fat and protein ratio. All right, because farmers said that if I've got AfiLab, okay, and I'm detecting cows based on fat and protein ratio, I only want to see those cows on the report because I am treating these cows that are suspected with ketosis or subclinical ketosis, and I only want to treat these cows that are identified by the AfiLab. So in version 5.4, what we did, we added a checkbox, okay, and include only cows detected by AfiLab. So if a farmer has AfiLab on his farm, he will be able to check this box here, and this box will, once it's checked, okay, once this box is checked, only cows that were detected by the AfiLab will appear on this report. If you uncheck this, okay, if you uncheck this box, then you will get also cows that are on this report for from the risk factor, and cows that were detected by the AfiLab. All right, so in general, this is my presentation, and so these are the features that we added on in 5.4. And again, I recommend, please bring us in more requirements, what you feel on the field, what you feel that you need, and we will be glad to see if we can add them onto a future version. All right. So I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this webinar, and look forward to seeing you all again as soon as possible, meeting you all back again, seeing you all and visiting you. And again, hope you join us at our next webinar. Thank you all. Thank you very much for joining me on this session. Have a great day, and we'll be in touch. Thank you all very much.